I have two things here for this unboxing. One is the box itself. The other one is this big pole that I bought at Home Depot. This is going to be important later. But I figure we'll dive right into the box and get this unboxing started. This is not something that I necessarily would have picked up at a retail price. It was on sale. And I've always liked the way this one looked of this particular type of item. I like the way it looked. It's a little bit fantasy, but it's still grounded in a little bit of history, I suppose. Let's dig into it. Here we go. And there it is. Pretty odd shape, right? You might know what this is if you can guess at the general shape. We'll get this thing opened. It's got a lot of potentially sharp bits in here, although I don't think it has been sharpened. And you can probably begin to see what this actually is. Begin to unwrap it. Alright. I can already tell this is going to be like the most greasy mess ever. It is absolutely slathered in it. So this is a windlass product. It is called, now it is called the Spanish halberd. But that's not actually what it is. What it actually is a replica, a recreation a bit, of the Assassin's Creed halberd. I know this because when they originally marketed this halberd, it was for Assassin's Creed. And then I guess they lost the licensing rights, but they still had a ton of these halberd heads to sell, so they kind of rebranded it. The thing that I really actually like about this, like I said, it's a little bit fantasy. The thing I really like is actually just the general shape of it. It takes a slightly different approach to the blade head portion, which normally the blade and where it connects would actually be either inverse of where it is now or directly in the center. But since it has this kind of taller bit to it, I think it looks pretty interesting. And of course I will clean it up with all the grease on it, but that is why I got this pole, because it will fit right there on this pole. And I'm not sure what their mechanism for actually getting it in place, like actually locked into place. Normally you would have some sort of hole that's drilled out that you'd put a screw or something into, but they don't have that at all. So I think it's likely that I will have to actually go drill a small hole in order to put like a little either rivet or screw into it to actually make it hold onto the pole. None of it is sharpened. Obviously the tip is sharp. These tip bits are sharp. This bit down here is a little bit malformed, but it is not super sharp. They did put enough of a little bit of a bevel on this to actually make it where I could sharpen it. And in all honesty, I will probably do that. The only problem that might crop up is that this has a very obvious antiquing that's been done on it, give it a little bit of a different color. I imagine once I take all the grease off and sharpen it, it'll get a little bit lighter on the edges. But this is supposed to be functional, right? It is made of high carbon steel, so in theory, once I get the hole drilled and once I get it added to the staff, it will be functional. So I really like the design. I like the first Assassin's Creed game. I was never really a big fan of the entire series, although I do like it. I like their approach to things, and I thought the design of this was actually really something unique, and that I'm really glad that I was able to pick one up on the cheap. So that was the unboxing, real short. I had to go buy my own pole, but I thought this was a good deal, and so I wanted to pick it up. And now I've got another halberd, so that'll be fun. Can't wait to actually sharpen it and kind of give it a try.